Hey folks, we had a good question about how to teach your horse to neck rein, and this is something recently that I've been working on myself, and I'm going to show you what I've learned about how to teach a horse to really get good at neck reining. For a long time, you guys have heard people say, this horse plow reins, this horse neck reins, and neck reining has always been like a better deal to have, right? Plow reining means basically your horse is kind of broke to ride. You know what I mean? It's not like really a fancy thing. It's kind of something you'd expect any horse to be able to do, where you just kind of right hand, left hand, and you can get that horse to turn right and left. It's a little more fancy if you can ride that horse one-handed, like this, and you can just steer them around off of neck reining. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I think it's also a reasonable goal that we want horses to understand neck reining. Now, you have to also understand there's levels of neck reining. There's neck reining to where you can be at a gallop and that horse will follow your field to, say, track a cow or be ready to stop and roll back like a reining horse. And then there's like a dressage horse that might need to understand neck reining a little bit in terms of just, hey, could you just hold your shoulder over a little bit while I ask you to do, haunches in or something like that. So there's a lot of varying levels of this. You can decide how good you want to get this for you and your horse. This horse is introduced to the idea of neck reining. This is Ivory. He's a horse that we have in training right now. And so we're going to do, what I do with every horse that I start is I start off by neck reining with a really simple basic way. But this basic way, it just gives us a head start for the second stage of this, okay? The way I'm doing it now, unfortunately, won't get you all the way to where you want to go with neck reining. It just gets you the start. So even though I might be direct reining a horse or plow reining, I'm going to offer them the neck rein first. So let me show you what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and ride around. And if I decide I want to turn, I'm going to go ahead and go neck rein, then back that up with my direct rein. Now, also, you're going to notice I'm in a straight line right now. Now I'm going to turn 90 degrees, and now I'm going to release. So I'm not riding circles. Circles are not good steering patterns because when you're on a circle, you're kind of saying to the horse, turn, 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 turn. Where when you ride a square or octagon, you can practice neck rein, direct rein. And there's a moment of relief in the middle with the straight line. So the horse feels you come out of neutral to turn. Now, I want you guys to notice as I'm doing this with him. Right now, if I were to turn with my neck rein, do you guys see him turn off that? He understood that neck reining. Now, that doesn't mean at a gallop or even at a canter or a trot, I could roll back. So I'm going to show you a couple more levels on how to build this. One other thing I'll just mention, again, there's levels to this. So it's like how many different things are you doing right and putting together in order to be clear, in order to have clear communication with your horse so that they get the idea sooner than later. So another thing that I would say I'm doing right here is I'm turning the same direction each time. This makes it easy for the horse to see the pattern and go, okay, I bet we're going to turn left. This guy up here really likes turning left right now. Okay, so we're doing a lot of left turns. Now I'm gonna pull the old switcheroo and we're going to go ahead to the right. Neck rein. Oh, he got a little stuck there, right? So now I'll give him the direct rein, a little bit of leg, and now we're headed off to the right. So neck rein. Ah, very good. So you'll also notice he got stuck when we were at a standstill. It was easier for him to follow this at a walk. Let's go ahead and move into a trot. A trot is a great teaching gait. So I spend a lot of time at a trot doing this technique, and I just call this riding guide, and it's part of just our program for getting horses to steer well. Neck rein, direct rein. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to switch, and I'm going to move on to what I would consider stage 2, if you will. Like, it's the next level. I'm raising my expectations of how well he understands this. So a couple things are going to be different. First thing is I'm going to use one hand only. I will not cheat and use two hands, even if he gets stuck. So that's a key. They will get stuck sometimes, and you have to be willing to commit and let them solve the puzzle. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some more difficult turns. Like, for instance, here I'm going to stop, and I'm going to draw him back to the outside. So he feels the left rein a little bit, but he also felt the right rein a little bit. And the problem with neck reining is that sometimes this can happen. Can you guys see what we got going on here? As soon as that horse tips their nose to the outside, I'm pulling on the right rein and they're slacking the left rein, even though I want to go that way. And if you want to get a horse to neck rein, that's just one of the problems that comes up with neck reining. Just about anything you teach a horse, there's kind of pros and cons. But for this exact one, that can happen, right? They need to learn to kind of work through that and understand the neck rein so that they don't get to that bowed up position right off the bat. Now, the tempting thing for me to do here would be to cheat and just use my leg, because this horse knows how to steer off the leg as well. I'm going to resist that urge though. So when you see me steering him around, I'm literally going to use just one hand. Now, there would be another level where I would, like right now, if I want to turn to the right, I'm going to switch hands. This will be a little bit easier for me and for him than if I were to use my left hand like this, okay? Now, when a horse gets really good at neck reining, you need to commit to one hand on the reins and not switch hands at all. This horse is still just learning this, and so for now, I'm going to go ahead and switch hands. This will make it a little bit easier for us. So I'm going to hold, and I'm waiting for that step over. Right there it is. So I'll go ahead and release them. And now I'm going to trot out of it. I'm going to go somewhere. So hustling the horse out of the turn will also help bring them through the turn. Okay? So neck rein, wait for it, there. So he was turning a little bit, but it wasn't until the very end that he really turned, okay? Pick him up, hold and wait. And I know this looks a little bit ugly, but you got to work through this a little bit at first when you're first trying this, okay? Because if you don't, you know, if you set it up too perfectly for him all the time, you will always have to use one hand on the reins to get this done. And this is the first time with this horse that I've intentionally tried to ride him just neck reining. You know, before this, I've either practiced steering him off my legs like this, where I could turn right off of a leg cue like that, or I've practiced doing neck rein, direct rein. So this is new. And there's another little lesson in there, which is if there's something that you want your horse to get really good at, find multiple ways to teach it. The more points of reference your horse has in their brain to understand, say, turn right, you know, if he could turn right off of a direct rein, if he could turn right off of a neck rein, or if he could turn right off of a leg cue, you're going to have a horse that, guess what, turns right really well, okay? So lots of reasons to get good at this. Now, one of my favorite setups for this, I'll go ahead and do this on the back wall, is to trot down the rail, sit, draw your neck rein through. He's in a bind here. I'm going to wait for him to kind of work through this. There he did. Put my hand down and ride him forward out of it. You don't got to go a long ways. Just go a little ways. Same thing here. I'm going to sit, draw this rein back, wait for it, get it through the turn, and ride. Go again. Ooh, I like that stop that started coming through there. Neck rein. I don't know about you guys. That one felt a little easier, a little bit smoother. So I'm going to go ahead and quit him on that one. That one felt pretty good. Now, I've already taught him turn and then go forward out of the turn. So that pattern was kind of familiar to him. The only thing I changed in this sequence was adding in the neck rein part of it. So lots of different strategies there for you guys on how to neck rein better. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it encourages you and motivates you to go out and teach your horse to neck rein. It's a really valuable skill. Just remember, one hand on the reins. Don't cheat and go to a direct rein or a leg cue. Let them get in a bind. Let them work through it. That's where the learning process happens. The other thing is, if you hold your reins like this position here, this is a lot easier to start off teaching neck rein than getting to this position. So this would kind of be more of stage 3. I would switch to this position with neck reining, and I would commit to only using this hand. I wouldn't switch hands as I was going. It doesn't matter right or left hand, but I would commit one finger between the reins if you're riding with split reins. You could do this also if you had, rope reins or something. So yeah, get out and give it a try. Let me know how it's going for you guys with your horses, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.